What's up, everybody? It's Spontaneously Pickled here, and today is my first WWE video, my first official one. Now, just want to let you clear, this video is specifically going to be this is less unplanned, unfiltered, pretty much going to be raw. So I didn't have a script, so if it's a little bit, me stuttery, just bear with me on that one. I didn't take any notes or anything like that because that's what I'm planning on doing for future videos. But this particular video is Pickles, predictions, and thoughts. So I'm going to try to put it out for the prediction, which is basically what I think WWE is going to do, and then going to be my thoughts on what slash opinions on what I would like to see. So I just want to make sure we know that. Now, before I even get started with the video, I gotta say this episode of Smackdown, which is not doing a review on yet. I really wish I started doing these reviews earlier, but I want to start after this event. Was amazing. It was a really really good go home show. And I really, really liked everything that they were doing. It seemed like they were building up to a lot of different things that could go in multiple different directions. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do. I just want to make this clear, too, that I've only started watching WWE again since about a year ago, officially, actually. Once basically Triple H took over. That's when I started watching WWE again. So there are certain things I may not know. You guys are absolutely welcome to point them out in the comments. I'm always happy to get feedback and thoughts. And like I said, let's get a discussion going. But let's get started with this. I will reference some of the SmackDown bits as we go along because I do think that they'll be relevant for some parts of this conversation, especially for the opinions part. But let's go with the predictions. I'm gonna go for the predictions, give you why for each match, and I'm gonna go for the opinions and give you what I think on those opinions. This is what I want to see, basically. So it's not probably gonna happen, but you never know, right? We'll never know. You never know. Okay, so the first match we have is LA Knight versus The Miz. Now, this rivalry, I really, really like it. I think that for the match itself, I will say that LA Knight is gonna win. I think at this point, like he has less to gain if he loses than if he wins. Now, I will say they're not. I don't think WWE is rushing to put a title on him. However, I do believe that with this rivalry with the Miz, who's only won like what one match, two matches this year. I think it was even one match. I don't think that LA Knight should be losing to the Miz. So I'm gonna give this to LA Knight, but I'm gonna give you my opinion though. Now, this is my opinion. I think that if they want to expand this rivalry, then they're gonna give it to the Miz. But LA Knight will win the rivalry in the end. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because you see, one thing I will say is I love LA Knight just like anybody else. But anyway, I'm gonna say that I think that with LA Knight, I like his mic skills, but I will say when he's been battling the Miz, I've seen him get choked up a few times, and I think that they might want to keep him in this rivalry a little bit longer for him to refine it. I even think that the reason they are giving him this rivalry with the Miz is one. There's two reasons. One, so the fans can get what they want, getting LA Knight on both Raw and SmackDown, which the fans love. I love seeing LA Knight. Two, they want to build him up. They want him to do something big, I think. But I think what they want to do is they also want to make sure he's tightened up on his mic skills. And I think that anyone who can challenge him on the mic skill is Mike the Miz, no pun intended. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're actually having a rival with the Miz right now. Because the Miz, if you ask me, in the promo game when it comes to him versus LA Knight, I got to say the Miz has been on point. And I mean, I've been watching the Miz's promos, and I was just dying, especially when he was like doing the yeah what, like he's really really like sticking to the point that he believes that LA Knight is just a want to be like 90s wrestler. Which, by the way, no shade to that. I absolutely love that. And you know what? You stick with what works. I think that's awesome. But I do understand why they probably put him in this rivalry. So I think opinion wise, they could definitely give Miz the win and then make this rivalry go like maybe 2 to 3 ways like they love doing. And then have LA Knight come out victorious in the ultimately in the end, because LA Knight is off to bigger and better things. And I hate to say that, I like the Miz and everything, but I believe that he's had his time. I don't think I see him winning a title anytime soon, unless they surprise me, and you never know, right? WWE can surprise sometimes. The next one we have on the list here that I believe is going to happen is going to be the. I'm also giving, I am cheating. I am fighting on the site, but going to mix it up here and there. But I'm going to say that the next one's going to be the promo with Grayson Waller and Cody Rhodes. Now, this one particularly interests me because I did find that it came out of nowhere. But the thing with Grayson Waller effect, right? I've noticed, at least from you guys, can tell me if you guys watch some NXT, it doesn't always necessarily lead to a rivalry for him. It just typically shows that he's an asshole to another person that he's interviewed. Usually, that's just what it boils down to. So I'm not sure what they're building up for this, but I definitely think whatever it is going to be building up for Cody Rhodes' next feud, because I believe that right now WWE is trying to keep him busy while they go for whatever they're gonna do at WrestleMania. Obviously, we all know it's gonna be either something with Roman Reigns versus someone in the Blue Line, probably Solo Sikoa, or Cody Rhodes, or even a combination of the three, which I hope they don't do. I feel like it's gonna take away from like the official victory when Roman Reigns does finally lose that title. So I'm not sure what's going on. I will say maybe it'll involve John Cena some bit because John Cena, obviously he's hosting and he's back right now. So, and I'm seeing on the card, at least when the update is when I'm looking at the site, they don't really have anything specifically talking about John Cena having any particular segment. So I am very curious where that's going to come into play. Maybe it'll come into play there. Maybe him and John Cena will both like bash Grayson Waller. Maybe Austin Theory will come out because I don't know if you guys saw, but on SmackDown, which is really good by the way. Um, they Grayson Waller and Austin Theory now has built up a group, a little small like teammate, and they actually won their match, which was quite cool. Actually, I really thought that they had a really good synergy as a team. So I'm really hoping that they do something with these two because actually one of the concerns I have is when Austin Theory lost the title, what they're going to do next with him. And that actually is going to get me to segue right into because, like I said, we don't know what's going to happen with Cody Rhodes now. So I'm going to segue right into the Austin Theory versus the Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship match. I believe that's going to be the second match on the list. Um, Now this match, I'm gonna say Rey Mysterio is going to win it because at this moment I don't see what they're gonna do, particularly with Austin Theory, because I feel like they were kind of a little bit straying away from him. Now the thing is also we all know that they're seems like they're planning for a betrayal from Santos Escobar. I don't think Santos Escobar is going to do that tonight because I don't think he's going to want to cost Rey Mysterio the title. I think he's going to want to win the title from Rey Mysterio. But the thing I don't necessarily like about this particular story though is that I feel like we all knew that they wanted to make a Hispanic champion, and I think that's wonderful. But I think when they made that tournament and then they had those Rey Mysterio and Escobar in that, it became too obvious that they were going to go in that direction. The only thing that surprised me was Rey Mysterio when he got the concussion, which I think that was a real thing, right? So that's why Santos like moved forward. But I think that's why they made it up with the injury angle with thing, and then that's when they decided, okay, let's do that. So that's my prediction on that. Um, Now what I would like to personally see, in my opinion, would be which would be cool to see is it would really be cool to see Austin Theory and Grayson Waller build up on that friendship that they just read, and maybe you can start a faction with a bunch of NXT wrestlers, like or younger wrestlers, to like to fight back because they both typically insult the legends. They're both like kind of like those wrestlers who don't like legends, like like kind of like a few wrestlers were back in the day, Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that what I would like to see happen is that actually Austin Theory gets this victory and he does something with Grayson Waller. But the problem is with that is I don't think they could take the story as far as they could with if they make Rey Mysterio win with the whole Santos Escobar heel turns. I call him Santos Hilabar, sorry. But anyway, I'm just tired of heel turns though. Like I like heel wrestlers, by the way. If you ever notice, for those of you when you see my reviews, you'll see me cheering on the heels a lot more often than the faces. But the thing is that I don't think that we need so many heel turns because we already got Drew McIntyre, who's probably gonna go heel, right? Which is funny. I don't know unless I'm going to outdate the site. I don't see Drew McIntyre yet, and I might be also forgetting. So bear with me. Matt Riddle on the card. I thought they were going to be on the card, but I guess not. So that like I don't know. I just feel like they don't need to constantly do heel turns every time. You can still tell a story without having a heel turn. So I'm not really keen on it, but it is what it is. But yeah, I definitely think that in the end, like predictions wise, Rey Mysterio is going to win. Opinion wise, I would love Austin Theory to win and just see where they take that and see if they can build something off of that. But again, even me, I don't have a good story. I mean, I'm not a writer, so I can't say they don't have something planned better than I do. But I don't really have a story I can think of that's going to go forward. But that's just going to be the same. However, I will say I have liked Austin Theory's recent aggression that he had, especially when that night he did beat up Santos Escobar, and I was really hoping that that's what we would have gotten after he beat Cena. Because unfortunately, right now, Cena's promo about Austin Theory was right. Like he lose, and that's not good. So I am glad that they are pairing him with Grayson Waller because I did worry that after Rey Mysterio does win, what are they gonna do with Austin Theory? So now we have him and Grayson Waller working together. So that might be something that can build to something. Maybe they might even jump Cody Rhodes for which will lead to something. So I'm very interested to see how that's gonna play out between those two segments as well. The next up we have is Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage match. Now, I will say that like I haven't really been a big fan of this rivalry too much. I don't know for some reason like I know Becky Lynch is on point, but I love Trish Stratus by the way. I think she I think she was amazing back in the day. I even think she's good now. But I don't know what her matches with Becky Lynch just haven't been hitting home with me. So I do think that the rivalry is going to indeed end, but the thing is, I think Becky Lynch is going to win this rivalry. Of course, Zoe Stark's going to interfere, but Becky Lynch will find a way and she'll win because it seems like I haven't seen her back in the past, but it seems like she was a really big deal prior to when I started watching. I literally started watching right after she wasn't like the biggest deal anymore, like right before she went away, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm very curious to see where that goes. And I could see obviously there's more to it than having the retired wrestler win, right? So I'm going to definitely say Becky Lynch. Now, the chaotic side of me will say is that Zoe Stark costs Trish Stratus the match. Both ways you go, Zoe Stark, Trish Stratus is going to lose this match. Now, one thing I liked last week that happened, first of all, that Zoe Stark versus Becky Lynch match on Monday was amazing. And I will say, Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch's communication, that their match synergy was a lot better, like when they were fighting each other, which was good than it was in their solo matches. So I think that it might have helped that they're not so like constantly fighting each other. However, one thing that kind of caught my attention was Zoe Stark was a little bit upset when Trish accidentally hit her with the chair. I don't think that was a planned spot though. However, in some way, opinionated wise, I kind of hope WWE builds off of that because that would be really cool. Because obviously we know Becky Lynch is going to be shot up to the moon or at least somewhere, right? But what are they going to do with Zoe Stark afterwards? So that's what I'm worried. Now, one thing I'm worried about is that these NXT talents that they're bringing up, they're not doing much with a lot of them. You know, like what happened to what did Alba Fire and the other one? Like they both tapped out at the same time, and that's the last you've seen of them. You know, and they unified the title, so there's that. You know, and then they have the two. I'm sorry if I'm not remembering the names, but the two dancer girls, who I think are really amazing. Like they just keep losing. It's just like fodder for losses every match. I mean, at this point, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised they put them in a handicap match against one random wrestler and they lose to that too. And I hope that's not the case. But they seem like they're very talented, but they're not really giving them TV time. And I think that WWE needs to build up these new stars too. I don't think that I'm not saying make them win every match, but I do think they need to let them have more shine and win. And I understand why the pairs always start with Trish, but I hope it wasn't just to build that one storyline, just like feed the storyline to Trish and Becky, so they can just do that and actually do something with Zoe Stark. That would be lovely. And also in this match, I don't see Lita interfering in any way, shape, or form. I think Lita's just done. Unless someone knows something I don't, but definitely feel free to give me your thoughts and comments on that one. Then the next match I think is going to happen is going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor in a Steel City Street fight. Now, we already know this isn't going to go to the street. When's the last time WWE has ever done going to the street? I missed that in the Attitude Era, by the way. But nonetheless, I do believe that in this match, there's going to obviously be interference with the Judgment Day when they not interfere. And of course, Big Head McDonough is going to come out and interfere as well. And I think that what's going to happen is that it's going to cause some tension between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Will it be a betrayal? I don't think so, because Triple H loves his long storyline telling, so I don't think there's gonna be like, oh, betrayal right away. However, I do think it's gonna lead to that in the future. But I definitely do think that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will take this victory. Now, opinion wise, honestly, I feel like WWE and I might be aligned on that opinion, or my opinion versus what I think is gonna happen. I actually do think the same thing's gonna happen. Just JD McDonagh's gonna interfere because I don't think this match is gonna have too much of the briefcase involved unless they're trying to use it as a weapon like they did a couple of weeks ago. But I do think that whatever happens with this, I hope that they move forward with both stories. First of all, move forward with whatever they're going to do with the Judgment Day, which I like seeing them as a dominant faction, but I don't think they need to win everything. And then also having Kevin Zayn and oh my God, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn move forward with their story. I will say though, no matter who wins this match, that team, whatever team wins this match, I believe they're going to lose. This is where my opinion comes in. They're going to lose by a betrayal. Because the thing is, like, they were doing something in the beginning of Kevin. I keep saying their names mixed up. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, when they first like won the titles for a while, they were doing a little bit of like an angle where Kevin Owens seemed a little bit jealous of Sami Zayn. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and then they started doing the anger management angle, and whatnot, right? But I don't know. It seems like there is something that they're building up to, but I'm not sure exactly what it is for these two. But I don't think it's gonna be them just being a dominant tag team. I think it's gonna be one is gonna betray the other one. They're gonna lose the title that way. But it does seem like right now every tag team title in WWE main rosters is cursed, especially the women's tag team title. So I really hope that they try to get these tag team titles something done with them. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing them split up the tag team titles, but the thing is that I think we need to get more like legitimacy to the tag team division on both sides. But the thing is, I feel like SmackDown seems to have more teams. Because Alpha Academy, they're a team, but I just feel like they don't team up enough these days. It seems like they're kind of going for Chad Gable to be solo, which I think is really good for him. So it kind of makes sense, right? But by the way, I was a little bit disappointed that they moved that match to Raw instead of the pay per view. I didn't see why they had to move Chad Gable's match, Chad Gable versus Gunther, to just a Raw. Like, why can't they do a pay per view? I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. I don't mind seeing a stacked card with like a longer pay per view, but maybe it's something I'm missing. Maybe it's based off this whole like new attention span due to TikToks and stuff like that. Nobody can stay for a long show, I guess. I don't know. But nonetheless, we're gonna move on to our next match here. We're gonna move on to the Women's Championship between Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Now, I'm gonna go for Rhea Ripley because I don't see them stripping the title from her, even though it's long enough to do it. But I think she's hardly had enough defensive to be stripped of, especially considering how dominant they're making her. It's even funny because actually a few weeks ago they did this whole big promo in her. I'm gonna be a big deal. I forgot what she said, but she could be like, I'm not playing around, and all of a sudden she got a butt whipped in like 90 seconds by Rhea Ripley. It was just like so. That was a quick loss. And, that was kind of just about it. It was just like, okay, so what was the point of that? Like, doesn't seem like that was a big deal. Now, I think what's going on is they're making Rhea Ripley look really good, but I also think they're doing it at the expense of everyone else in the women's division, which is not good. Um, Now, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people talking on other sites and stuff like that. Oh, wait, they should have Rhea Ripley fight this guy or that guy. I wouldn't mind that, but the problem with WWE product these days, right, is that the men can hit the woman. I agree with that as a statement, but I think for entertainment, it's like, okay, so what's the point? Like, so for me, like, whenever there's a female wrestler that interferes in a match or around the match, I'm like, okay, well, he can't do anything about it, so we already know what's gonna happen. So for me, when I see like the interference or a woman versus men match, like even when she fought, oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. The stamina monster, they call him, who always loses. He's a good wrestler, but he just loses all the time. The Japanese guy, I cannot believe I can't remember his name. Oh my God, my brain is not working right now. I think it's no, not Shin, that's Shinset. Oh my God, hold on. I cannot believe I can't remember his name. Tazawa. Yeah, WWE Tazawa, right? Akira Tozawa, right? Yeah, him. So they just keep making him lose. So like that match he had against him, like it was like he didn't even really get any offense. It was just like he tried, quote unquote, but we already knew he wasn't gonna land a hit. I don't know. I just feel like I get it, this whole like new era stuff, but like same time, like come on, it's entertainment. Like, you know, like if we think people are that dumb, then maybe they should stop. We shouldn't blame the companies. That's their responsibility. Like they're stupid. They're stupid. Anyway, um, back to my point, I do give Rhea Ripley this win. However, I do hope that it's not a dominant win. And in my opinion, I would love to see Raquel Rodriguez win and go for that. But the thing is, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that what will happen, and the secondary to that opinion is, I would like to see this rivalry go on because at the moment, Raquel Rodriguez is the only one who can stand toe to toe with Rhea at the moment. It seems like, at least on the Raw superstar side, because right now, like all of the superstars on Raw right now are just looking like fodder for Rhea Ripley, and I just think that that's just not good. So I think that definitely Rhea Ripley on both ends, but maybe opinion wise is that Raquel Rodriguez and her will have a little bit of a rivalry, which would be nice, and maybe even Raquel Rodriguez might dethrone Rhea Ripley. We'll see. Now, last but not least, we do have the heavyweight championship match, the World Heavyweight Championship match, the legitimate title that Seth Rollins has made it to be because obviously Roman Reigns never does. And by the way, I think WWE did a good job of making this title seem more legitimate because like Roman Reigns is never wrestling for his anymore, so it's just like okay, well, who's the real champion now, right? I'm gonna say for this particular match, I think that Seth Rollins is gonna win. I don't necessarily see Shinsuke winning this match. However, I do know, we all know Shinsuke's going to target the heck out of the back, and they're going to tell a beautiful story in the match. And it's going to be a highly competitive match because Shinsuke Nakamura does put on some amazing matches all the time, and we already know Seth Rollins is always amazing. So I think it's going to be one of the better matches on the card, actually. Sorry, LA Knight and The Miz. I think it's going to be a good match too, but I think this is going to take home the cake. Um, so I definitely do believe that this is going to go to Seth Rollins. Now, opinion wise, I do think that same thing, Seth Rollins is going to win, but I do believe that it's going to be the catalyst where they start working towards him losing the title eventually due to his back issues. Because I already know that, realistically, real life, that he's been wrestling for a few months with a bunch of injuries. So obviously he's going to need to take some time off and actually recover. And yeah, I don't think they're going to plan on, and I felt bad to say this, but I don't blame them to have, them to have two stay-at-home champions. We don't need two work-from-home champions. We need to have one work. We need to have one champion that actually wrestles. We don't really need any work from home champions, but apparently that seems to be what, like a good, like what a good 40% of the WWE titles are right now, huh? Work from home champions. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to see what that is. Um, some final thoughts. I definitely did gotta say, speaking of Roman Reigns, I really don't know what they have planned for AJ Styles. Given the SmackDown segment, I'm very curious to see where that goes. I wonder if he's gonna be like one to rope the fodder in between now and WrestleMania. But there's two things I could see with that, by the way. It could be either a split between the OC and AJ Styles and Mia Yim, or it could just be the building up for AJ Styles to face Roman Reigns, because it wasn't like he lost a clean match to Solo Sikoa. So it could be him fighting with the Bloodline for a little bit whilst they figure out everything else what's next. And obviously, we looks like Jimmy joined again, so that's going to be interesting. Like, cause the SmackDown was a really good SmackDown. I know I'm not doing a SmackDown review, but I couldn't help but talk about it a little bit. But that is going to conclude this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe. I would love to have you guys here. This is my first video once again for wrestling, so I do apologize if it's not really well organized. I do intend to get more organized. I'm trying my best to build things up with this channel as much as I could, so do bear with me if things are a little bit slow at times, but I am definitely going to try. One of the plans I do have for this channel is to do, as I mentioned before, SmackDown reviews, Raw reviews, predictions for the premium live event, like I said, same pay-per-views, as well as a review of the premium live event. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow, because that's when I'll be doing the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day and spontaneously pickled these out.